Video 93. October 28, 2012. Urosh ask, Mythi, what about this object being launched to the Popocatépetl volcano? Friends, this is a probe Arcturian, of pressure control that interacts with the boilers near the surface. Probes are large, 3,000 or more feet long. They are being placed in all large boilers that are erupting. For a possible intervention if the Community Galactica so decides. These probes will be on standby for a possible use if the board decides to intervene and minimize the tectonic processes. Similar probes were used in the Canary Islands and other supervolcanoes to prevent collapse so far. This probe was filmed by you for a possible error of logistics of some crew Arcturian because they are usually released during eruptions with large emissions of smoke when they go unnoticed. As you are watching, the tectonic movements began to emphasize in recent weeks, and volcanic activity is increasing together. When the pressure exceeds the inertia of the plates and they start to move, they will stop only after all the pressure to stabilize at a new context of retrofitting. Only Arcturian technology could minimize these effects, allowing time for evacuations more effective. So in the case of Community Galactica to assume responsibility for the planet in this period of change. With respect to the Sun, the Krullians' many ships and Sirius are monitoring their behavior. But, as I've explained previously, little could interfere because the behavior of the Sun galactic hemisphere. This change will be necessary for the physical and climatic changes in all planets of this solar system. Not only on Earth. Interfere in favor of the Earth would deny other consequences necessary for the evolution of other planets. Mythi, why the Arctic is almost thawed and Antarctic is significantly increasing its area of ice? Well, this is a typical reaction of instability caused by artificial thawing of your northern region by your governments. Generating too much moisture, causing violent storms with flooding in specific regions. And creating huge hurricanes in others, by convergence of masses of vapor with different temperatures. All steam artificially accumulated in your atmosphere creates a high volume of condensation in cold areas of the planet, which is the case in Antarctic. To be easy to understand, if you leave your freezer for days open in your kitchen, it will be filled with ice, condensed from the vapor available in the air. In the case of Antarctic, it is the open freezer on planet. As we had accumulated many more questions about this, let's incorporate this response given by Mythi as part of this set of videos. Mythi, some scientists confirm that there were atomic explosions or something in the region where India stands today. There are local and skeletons unearthed at archaeological sites with high levels of radiation. How could this have happened? Well, there were many ancient battles here on the planet that you consider today as yours. From about 600,000 years so far, there have been at least 20 battles for control of planet Earth between different races. In all of these ancient battles, missiles with atomic energy were used. Atomic weapons have been eradicated after the replacement of such weapons by high-energy beams. Under the consensus of the Community Galactica, our Community Galactica is one of the newest of the universe. This part of the universe was considered wild by then. In this region, you asked, there was a large colonial settlement. They DNA come from a society whose name in English sounds like Apom of planet Skanda in Pleiades, which is also a planet of great abundance of water. When the settlement called Rama was in its heyday, about 12,000 years ago, there was a major invasion of an amphibious reptilian race from a planet orbiting Sirius B, who wanted the right to claim the entire region. These reptilians have used the region as a hunting preserve for over 500,000 years ago, when there were no settlements of humanoids here. The Andromeda Galaxians that were here taking care of their own colonization detected the fleet reptilian and notified the Apomies, who came to the defense of its colony, and there was a great battle. A large reptilian mothership fired atomic weapons, destroying almost the entire colony. During the battle, the few Atenian spacecraft who were on the planet have come together to strengthen Apomies' fleet. And together the two fleets repelled the reptilians back to Sirius B. Several spacecraft Apomies and reptilians were defeated and exploded, adding to the destruction of parts of the region. After the battle, many of the areas were grounded to reduce the radiation, and all spacecraft parts were taken away. The remnants of the colony who took refuge in underground labyrinths then moved out of locality and founded another city. With a little perseverance, your archaeologists will find pieces of these ships, and many bodies of reptilians, buried in this region. Matt asks, since disclosure is upon the human race in a short time, what measures has the CG put in place to counter and control any hostile behavior that is likely to occur? When advanced extraterrestrial civilizations make themselves known, all the inhabitants of this planet have lived a fake reality for so long, including and not limited to the cover-up of alien life. When billions of clueless humans come to find out aliens are all very real and literally a screaming hurry, how will the CG contain the situation, or do you think it will be an afterthought for the population after the prospected events have occurred? Matt, in the case of a contact globalized, many steps are taken to avoid further problems. Our fleet now currently has 520 volunteers and over at least 200 friends and relatives of the volunteers, who are willing to help this transition according to the list forwarded recently by CB. A great increase of possibilities that makes us an excellent liaison between the communities in which we may act. But I'll explain that other techniques may be used. We have systems that can simply reduce dramatically the muscular reflexes of the body without altering the mental or intellectual capacity of an entire community, and make the attackers listeners, so that we have time to explain the context of events without any hostilities against our people. This action is taken only when there is no other form of assistance possible. It's how you beat a person who is drowning in order to save her life, unless she takes you to the bottom together, by being out of control emotionally. These techniques work well in humans in good health, but with the amount of beings with problems of blood pressure and other heart and kidney problems in your communities, we will avoid the maximum taking action that could cause them any aggravation of these problems. Another technique is to project a collective conscience that we are friends and cause a feeling of unconditional friendship. But that would not have merit for you to be considered ready for a relationship matured enough to be part of the Community Galactica as members fully self-developed. Some things have to be proven and experienced. so they can have real validity. For thousands of years your ruling elites tried to keep their people under control. Through subliminal religions, beliefs, and folklore, as they still do today with subliminal advertisements everywhere. Everything is imposed. It includes thoughts, holograms, subliminal messages of any kind, is a form of subjugation. And it does not validate the conscientization of a colony. Here on Earth many are not ready, but many others are. Those are the ones that will validate the passage of this colony to the next level, the interstellar connection. Friends, stand firm in your convictions. As I already mentioned before, the caterpillar that crawls, if given the chance, will turn into a butterfly and can fly one day. Some will take longer than others, but in the end, this is the natural law of things, immutable. Some are prettier, some will fly higher, but all will fly and continue to develop.